Ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what the hell is going on in this game, but I am here for it. Today we're checking out an incredibly unorthodox matchup that I don't think I've covered on this game before. Sensei versus Colin. But more than that, look at the players, okay? Look at the players. These are not just any two players facing off against each other, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rip and awbw, two of the best Fog players in the world. Crazy matchup right here. I would have covered this if it was just a Global League match. But they're doing a gimmick match. It is incredibly rare to see two Grandmasters at the top of their game playing such a wacky match against each other. I have no idea what the history of this match is. I don't know why they're playing it. I just know that I want to cover it. So, let's take a look at the matchup. What a weird matchup, right? Colin versus Sensei in Fog. These two CEOs are almost always banned from competitive play because they're broken. Colin is always banned. Sensei sees some play in high funds, but I don't think I've ever seen them go up against each other in a Fog game before. Now, I don't even know what to say here. Like, I don't actually know which of them is better. My gut sense tells me that Colin might be a little bit better in Fog, because the whole premise of Colin is you bank up money, you pop Gold Rush, and you build up an absolutely unstoppable economy. It might be easier to do that in the Fog, because your opponent can't see what you're doing. At the same time, Colin needs to see what's coming his way. If he feels too pressured, he can't just pop Gold Rushes after Gold Rush. He has to actually build units to hold off the aggression. Sensei, on the other hand, is probably going to be a very aggressive CEO in this matchup, pumping out infantry and just applying pressure all over the map. I think Colin might have a hard time dealing with that, honestly. So, I really don't know which of these two CEOs have the edge in a Fog-style matchup. Of course, it does depend a lot on the map. So the map that they're playing on right now is called And Hell Followed. I think it was in the Global League at some point, but I'm actually not too sure if it still is. I know I've seen this map before. I don't know if I played on it. But it is a map that is, like, it's a medium-sized map, I'd say. Maybe not as big as Colin would have liked. There are lots of cities here in the center, which definitely favors Sensei. He pops Copter Command. He's going to have a lot of infantry ready to apply pressure everywhere here. There are 2 HQs on this map, which is a bit of a rarity. In case you guys don't know, when there are 2 HQs on the map, if you capture just a single one of them, you will win. So it's like, you can apply pressure at 2 fronts here. You have to deal with the black boat that is situated on the HQ, but you can do that pretty easily with an artillery. So you have to actually defend 2 points. It's not like labs where you need to capture all of them to win. As long as you lose 1 HQ, you will lose. Now, there is a yellow base here. That's just a first turn advantage kind of thing. Rip has to capture this base on turn 1. It gives a little bit of income to awbw. That's all there is to it. awbw, meanwhile, starts with 3 infantry. Actually, I have double checked. No, this is not high funds. I was like, this isn't high funds, is it? No, it is a normal Fog match. It's not high funds Fog. That is a wacky format in and of itself. Now, 2 airports on this map, that definitely favors Sensei. He can spam out 2 battlecopters per turn. Sensei, of course, is just incredibly strong with those battlecopters. So, yeah, looking at this, it's really hard to tell. I think Sensei looks pretty terrifying on this map. But again, it is Colin we're talking about, and it's also Rip. Now, I have no idea if Rip has any experience playing Colin. I think he probably knows how to use him. But some of the Grandmasters, they may not actually be that used to playing the tier 0 CEOs because they're mostly playing Global League and they may not have a lot of time for gimmick matches. I actually don't know how good Rip is with Colin, but Rip is one of the best players in the world, so we can assume that he's probably pretty good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to cast this match. All I know is it's going to be pure chaos. So, let's get started with some groovin' Sensei track. We got Rip in the blue trunks playing as Colin. I can't believe those are words that came out of my mouth. Rip playing as Colin, and awbw playing as Sensei in the bottom yellow trunks. So, on this map, you gotta break open some pipe seams to get to the second airport, but that's not really a problem. You can build some artillery, it's fine. Rip opening up recon right off the bat here as Colin. Interesting maneuver? Not really sure. I mean, I don't really know what that recon is going to do. I mean, I guess Sensei's infantry can still be interrupted. It's not like he's playing against Sami here. Like, if he was playing against Sami, I mean, that would be an incredibly unbalanced matchup. But against Sami, like, the recon serves no purpose, I think, because the Colin firepower is so low. and the infantries would just like capture the cities anyway, so I don't really see the point. But against Sensei, yeah, sure. I think we're going to see a lot of mechs coming out of Elagatua in this game, because if you take a look at this infantry base right here, this is an infantry base. You cannot produce anything but infantry here, because there are two rivers around it. So this base is exclusively a mech base, or an infantry base. I don't think Rip's going to be producing mechs, but Elagatua sure as hell will. And of course, Sensei mechs are absolutely terrifying, 40% extra firepower. So again, this looks to be a pretty Sensei favorite match. But we do know that Colin is normally considered a stronger CO than Sensei. After all, Colin is always banned, Sensei is sometimes allowed. So I think the history of this match, and I don't know what they agreed on before, I think they were just testing out, like, if we take a map that's slightly favored towards Sensei and we match him up against Colin in the fog, how's that going to play out? And I mean, I love stuff like this. I think it's great. Rip, of course, doing his trademark transport opener, you know he's going to do it, especially as Colin. I mean, when you're playing as Colin, there's no reason not to go transports, I think, because, hey, they're 20% cheaper, and you know what? They're not any weaker than any other transports, because Colin only gets a firepower penalty, not a defense penalty. So, as Colin, you can certainly get those cheap T-copters out. I think they're, what, like 4,002 or something? Or no, they're actually just 4K, I think. Yeah, 20%. Yeah, they're just 4K, so they're very, very cheap. And man, that 20% discount is actually pretty damn good. I think it's a very underutilized aspect of Colin's power. When people think about Colin, they always think about like, oh, Gold Rush and, you know, power of money, but like 20% cheaper units on a day-to-day is actually pretty damn good. It's really good, actually, because it allows you to hit some incredibly good timings. It allows you to get a medium tank out super early. So here, Rip is harassing Elagatua a little bit with his recon. He also builds an anti-air really quickly. I'm guessing he's expecting battlecopters to come out of this airport, which, you know, it's pretty smart. Now, I'm noticing there are 2 com towers for both players here. 3, actually. 1, 2, yeah. Each player can have the 3 com towers here. I don't know why the com towers aren't displaying. I usually have an add-on that tracks com towers, but it's not working right now, so we're just going to have to track that on our own. But yeah, 3 com towers. I think Colin probably favors no com towers, and the reason why I say that is because Colin does not like high-paced, aggressive matchups. I think Colin would prefer there to be low firepower on both sides so he can just snowball. Whereas Sensei probably appreciates the firepower bonus because that means that he can churn through Rip's units quicker. And I mean, imagine Sensei with 3 com towers. That's 70% firepower infantry. Those are like that's like having a Grim power active at all times on your infantry. That is absolutely terrifying. So Rip now continues to apply some pressure, but look at this, man. He attacks the mech, it goes down to 3, it's gonna go up to 5, and it's gonna hit back. So this is actually not a great, well, if he didn't have the recon, that is, but just like, it's kind of interesting to see the anti-air. Like 7-3 against Sensei, that's pretty weak. But yeah, Rip now using that T-copter to, and he is actually building mechs. I guess it makes sense to build mechs even as Colin. I mean, they are cheaper, and like you need mechs on this side of the map to counter vehicles, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. You can't really fight Sensei's mechs though, head to head. But you may not need to. I mean, Sensei still needs vehicles. As you can see, Elagatua is still building tanks. You have to build vehicles as Sensei in Standard and Fog. Like, you can't get away with just building infantry and battlecopters. As fun as that would be, you need to be able to counter enemy anti-air. Mechs just aren't fast enough for that. So you need to build a lot of vehicles as Sensei. But of course, you also can spam out a lot of battlecopters, and that's exactly what Elagatua is doing. Already starting to spam the battlecopters, or he's built 1, but he's certainly going to build a lot more. Now, one thing I'm kind of interested in seeing is how are Colin battlecopters performing against Sensei battlecopters if they get the first strike? I would assume they're still doing pretty well. Yeah, they are. I mean, still 65. I mean, he has a com tower. If he gets 3, yeah. So even against Sensei, if you get the first strike as Colin, then you can see Colin still does reasonably well. Of course, if it's the other way around, Sensei straight up one-shots. So in a copter dogfight, yeah, you don't really want to be Colin against Sensei. Like, you're going to lose that engagement, I think, even with your cheaper battlecopters. And especially considering fog, it's a lot easier for you to get jumped out of the fog, so we'll see. But yeah, both players really starting to churn out a lot of units right now. Economy is pretty high. Rip already has an income of 23,000. So what Rip wants to do now is he wants to slow down the game. He wants to pull back. He doesn't mind necessarily if Sensei gets some power charge. Of course, he needs power charge, and so does Sensei. They both have 2-star powers. So Rip knows that the moment Sensei starts pumping up infantry, it's going to get hard for him. Ooh, and he loses a battlecopter. That sucks. Okay, interesting. Ooh, is he? Oh my god, what a pickup from awbw right here. That was beautiful, man. He saw the mech, and using the high firepower in his infantry, he was able to take down the T-copter and damage the mech. That's huge from awbw, man. Like, because otherwise he would have lost this anti-air, or at least he would have taken a shot, because Sensei anti-air, not the best. But my goodness. awbw has a property here that he hasn't captured, though, funnily enough. And Rip is trying to get this home tower here. Is he actually going to get it? I think he's going to get it. He's shielding with this tank, so that's actually pretty smart. So let's see what happens here. Day 9? Yeah, so Rip has now 1. He's capturing a second com tower. So Rip has 3 com towers now. That's pretty good. So that's a 20% firepower colon. Not bad at all. And he deletes his black boat to move on to the HQ. And now he has a gold rush, but he only has 22k in the bank. So he could pop it, but it would only give him 11k. Not really that impressive. So what he really wants to do here is he wants to build infantry, save it for 40k, and pop gold rush next turn. That's how you really get the snowball rolling as Colin. So the question is, can awbw apply enough pressure to Rip to the point where he doesn't feel confident doing that? I'd say he can probably do it, and you can see he's already doing it. Let's see what he actually builds this turn. Ooh, he is building stuff, which I'm... Yeah, so this may be the problem with Colin and Fog, okay? So right this turn, Rip does not feel confident building just infantry. He builds mech, recon. So that's like, what, 3, 6... That's like almost 10k funds that he does not have banked up, right? And the reason why he's doing that is because of the fog, he doesn't see how much awbw has. So I think because Rip is playing fog, he doesn't quite know what to expect. So he doesn't feel confident building up that power charge. If this was standard, if I look at this positioning right now in standard, I'm like, sure, I don't feel threatened at all. I'm just going to build infantry. But I think Rip is like, no, I need recons to counter the eventual Sensei infantry spam, so I cannot. So he's only feeling confident banking up 13k, which isn't that much. He's going to have about 35k next turn, which is still good, but it could have been a hell of a lot more. So, because, oh, wow. awbw just deleted both of his black boat. Is the unit count, like, really low in this match? Unit limit? It doesn't say, for some reason. I think they're probably playing with a unit limit of 50, so... awbw actually just deleting his black boats, probably to make space for infantry, I think. Interesting, though? I mean, I guess he... Yeah, there you go. 43 units immediately, so... Okay. Maybe Rip did well in getting some recons out, because he probably knows he'll just get swarmed if he doesn't. So, yeah, and the spam is coming out. I am very surprised that neither player has gone for the airports yet. Now, there is actually... I have, like, actually a creeping suspicion. I'm actually going to look at the map. Okay, so sometimes maps will change, and it kind of breaks replays apart. No, the airports are still here. So it's not that they're playing on an old version of the map where the airports are not there anymore, or that the airports weren't there when they played. No, or maybe? So I theorized that maybe the map is outdated and that the airports are no longer here, or that when they were playing, the airports weren't there, if that makes sense. Because it doesn't make sense to me that they're just not capturing their airports. I mean, like, awbw for sure would definitely want his airport to get an extra battlecopter out. So I'm not really sure if that's just the map being... We'll have to pay attention to this. Yeah, so Rip does actually pop his gold rush. So he banks up 56k. I think he kind of had to do this, but imagine if he didn't build the recons last turn. He'd have like 70 or 80k in the bank right now, which is pretty significant. And he's building medium tanks, which I'm not sure if that's what I would do. I mean, I'm not pretending to be better than Rip here, but it feels weird to me because medium tanks gets absolutely chewed up by Sensei's battlecopters. So I think... But I guess he feels like he just needs some high-tech units here, right? Yeah, I think I think they are playing with a unit count of 50, and that probably explains why awbw deleted his black boats. And I want to make sure that they're not doing any like weird lab shenanigans here. No, there's no lab units, so the lab doesn't matter. It just breaks ties in the terms of a capture victory. So awbw is actually playing pretty carefully here. He's not like rushing in. He's actually boxing up his units, and he builds 2 more battlecopters. And no, they are actually playing with a unit count above 50, because he just went to 53. Again, I don't know why the game... I think this is an older game or something. No, it didn't. It ended not too long ago, so I'm not really sure what's going on here, but I can't see the unit limit for some reason. I guess Adolf's Spyweb is not always great with their replays, but yeah, so right here, Rip is... he's facing a lot of pressure. He's probably going to lose his comm tower. He's going to fight a little bit for it, though. But fighting Colin infantry with... or fighting Sensei infantry with Colin infantry is just not fun. At all. So this looks pretty rough. So Rip once again he's building units, banking up 16k. That seems to be what he's comfortable with. So he's gonna get a pretty good gold rush next turn. But yeah, I understand why he doesn't feel comfortable banking up more. I mean, he is up against one of the best fog players of all time. If you go too reckless as Colin, you will lose. So is awbw going to get a second copter command here? I don't think so. If we look at his power bar, doesn't look likely. He's kind of done making engagements right now, so I don't think so. Colin could pop a very good gold rush next turn if he wants to. 16k plus 24k. It's going to be a pretty decent payday for him. 40k, so he's going to get 20k out of it. I think he's going to get a little bit of power charge before he pops it. Or is he not going to pop it? Ooh, he's banking up some power charge, I think. I mean, the 10-10 is nice for Colin, but it's also nice to get a little extra power charge when you can. So I like this play from Rip a lot. Oh my god, is he gonna go super greedy and save up even more income and then do like a double gold rush? If he could do that, like the thing is, if the Colin snowball gets going, it doesn't stop, right? If you can get like 100k money as Colin, and you get to a point where you can just like cycle through gold rushes every turn, you're in a very good spot. That's exactly what Rip is doing. Yep, 37k banked up. Rip is going for the big stonks. He's going for the big stonks, ladies and gentlemen. But awbw, I think, I don't know what the unit count is. He's probably going to pop Copter Command, or maybe he's going to save up for an airborne assault. If the unit limit is like 60, it doesn't make sense to pop Copter Command right now, but let's see what he does. He's actually sacking units, which is beautiful. So I think the unit cap is probably 60. He's capping, he's like, Sensei wants to like combine and sack just to make sure, yeah, okay, 66 units. So if the unit count might be 70 then. But yeah, 66 units, that is just nasty, man. So many units. And like, what is Colin gonna do to stop this? That's what I'm gonna... Are we gonna see Power of Money out of Rip right now? Because he's gonna have like 70k in the butt. I think Power of Money would be a mistake though, because you need the money. Like, Power of Money is a power you use to end games. And I think Sensei has too many units for Colin to deal with right now. But he might pop Power of Money. Power of Money would be an absolutely insane amount of firepower. 60k, that's 180% extra firepower. That's like that's like Kindle superpower on cities for all your units. He is popping it. Oh my god, I don't know if he's doing it for content, but I love it. Oh my god, I think it is the wrong move probably, because again, you just threw away all of your future money right there. You have to win with this push basically, but this is going to be a crazy amount of damage. Just look at this. Like let me just show some calcs, because it does update based on this. Just want to show you guys the firepower that Rip has right now. His infantry will almost one-shot infantry on cities. Almost. And they'll one-shot them on forests. That's crazy, man. Tank versus tank. Kills them on forests. Even, yeah, same calcs, so. That is absolutely crazy, man. Alright, let's see what Rip can do with this Power of Money. Ooh, it's going to be a lot of one-shots right now. And one thing that Rip does have in his favor right here is that awbw has his power active. This means awbw doesn't get power charge from this. Yeah, I think Power of Money was a must here, actually, looking at it. He needed to kill units, and so this is probably what he needed to do. And he's going to be able to clear out an absolutely disgusting amount of units here. Like, he's going to kill so many Sensei units right here. But I have to ask, like, is it enough? My goodness, that's a lot of destruction on one turn. Oh my goodness, and he builds a fighter. What's kind of good about popping Power of Money is that you don't have to save anymore, but he's still saving. He's still banking up 28k. He's not even building a battlecopter. That was carnage, man. That was carnage. But man, Sensei's army is just like a swarm of mosquitoes. It doesn't matter how many you kill. More will just pop up. And yes, sure, Rip wiped out a good chunk of units on this turn. But that's kind of all he had. Like, he's done now. Like, power charge-wise. Power of Money, once you pop that, it's going to take so long to get your powers back again. And awbw doesn't even pop his power here. I think he's going to save up for an Airborne Assault. And that's actually super scary for Colin to deal with. Because those are Sensei mechs. So yeah, you look, Rip's power bar is gone now. It is gone. The Power of Money was strong, but it also kind of left him very exposed. The fighter I do like though. awbw's Antair is still out of action and still far away from the front lines. And Rip's still banking up a little cash. He's gonna have about 40k in the bank next turn for a gold rush, but I think awbw is going for the Airborne Assault. I think he is, yeah. He's already stacking units in preparation. Yeah, there. No, he's just gonna pop Copter Command. No need to pop Airborne Assault. He's just gonna bring his unit count up. Man, Sensei is such a broken CO. What were they thinking when they designed this guy? Like they must have been high. They must have been literally high. This is crazy, man. I don't even know what they were doing here. 3 Anti-Air, okay. Interesting. Yeah, I guess he really needs to combat that fighter. And there's the gold rush for 69k funds, and he's building mega tanks now. 2 mega tanks. He's gonna build a 3rd? Nah, this was a meme mega tank. Wow, what a match! What a match! Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Not every day we get to see 2 players of this caliber play around with tier 0 Zeos, but man, like, I think at the end of the day, this map was too favored for Sensei. I think too many elements go in his favor. Too many contested cities. Map was a little too small. Battlecopter's very strong on this map. I just don't see Colin being able to stand up to Sensei in this kind of format here. Sensei's terrifying in Standard and Fogman. Like, we see him in high funds, but sometimes I think we forget just how broken he can be. And, I mean, awbw played beautifully. And I really like that Power of Money out of it. But I think the moment he popped it, it just was over for him. Because, yeah, you can wipe out half of Sensei's army, but he spawns half of it back in on the next turn. And now you're out of power charge. I think how you win as Colin in this scenario is you just gotta roll continuous gold rushes, trying to get your money up to a point where you just have like 100k in the bank every turn. And then maybe you can pop a Power of Money, like, to finish off your opponent. The problem with this Power of Money from Rip was it was a desperation Power of Money. It was a Power of Money to try and hold Sensei off. And the moment that wears off, you're done. Power of Money is a trump card that you pop to end the match. You cannot pop it when you're on the defensive because you'll run out of steam, basically. But a really cool matchup, really well played by both players. It's a treat to watch Rip and awbw, especially in a format like this. Let me know in the comment section, do you think Rip could have won this if he played differently, or do you think he was screwed from the start against Sensei? I'd love to hear your analysis. This was a great match. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.